Welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin. I garden in Zone 6 in Northwest Connecticut. Of course, today we're going to talk about indoor plants, so it doesn't really matter what zone you're in. As gardeners, we all love to be surrounded by our plants, and we get some peace from that. So in the winter time, obviously, we have winter interests to look at, but we don't have other things. So we need to consider putting indoor plants in to help with air quality would be one good thing. But we have some things that we have to consider. What is the light in our house? Is it low? Is it bright? Does your spot that you're thinking of putting a plant, does it face east? Does it face west? Is your room humid like a bathroom? Do you need to be aware of toxic plants for either pests or kids? There's a lot. There are a lot of plants that are toxic. Ones even that I didn't think of. I've been doing a lot of research on indoor plants because indoor plants are not my specialty. And they might not be yours because I'm a big outside gardener, but I'm not a big inside gardener. So where are you planning to keep your plants is probably your number one consideration. On your desk, on the windowsill, in the bathroom, in a low light corner of your living room. And so let's think about several categories of plants. Plants probably come, you want to look at bright light plants, things that take bright spaces, things that like sun. Plants that are low light, really can't tolerate bright sun. Plants that really need humid conditions. And then lastly, probably plants that are really low maintenance. Most of us have enough work during the outside gardening season that we don't really want to really be fussing with our indoor plants. And so these are things to think about. If it's, I'll give you an example. I never plant Coreopsis, even though I really like it, because I feel like it just always needs deadheading. But you might pick an indoor plant like a pothos that you never have to touch, basically. So there are things to think about. What kind of, maintenance do you want even for indoor plants? Because they're not, some of them are fussy about water, some of them are fussy about humidity. So just something to think about. So we're going to talk gardening. We're going to talk indoor plants. And this was a suggestion from a viewer. So please, if you have something you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. Put it in the comments down below. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you the house plants that I have. And I've gotten a couple new ones so I could experiment a little bit more. So I'll show you those. And then I also did a walk around in 2 different nurseries to show you the different kinds of plants that are available, because obviously I don't have one of everything, not even sort of. But just to give you some ideas, maybe for something you might like to try in your own house. So thank you very much. If this is your first time here, thank you for watching. I hope you'll subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It really means a lot. Hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video. So before we even get started with indoor plants, let's not forget about cut flowers. So this is one of my last big dahlia cuttings, but every supermarket sells cut flowers during the winter, and you can put together some really pretty little bouquets just to keep that garden spirit alive in your house. So don't forget about cut flowers. The other thing you can also do right now, if you still have hydrangeas, this is Firelight Tidbit. You can cut them and you can dry them. So put a small amount of water in the very bottom of a container and just let it evaporate. Let the stems just sit there, and they will keep their color. And that's a great way to have, again, some kind of floral centerpiece for whether it's, in my case, it's on my kitchen table, but I also actually have them in my dining room until I switch over to, Christmas kind of stuff. So this is something that you can definitely do with whatever hydrangeas you have. I just happen to like the Firelight tidbit that I have. I have also Pinky Winky. I also cut some little limes. I didn't cut the Quick Fires or the Pinky Winkies or the Pink Diamonds. Those are a little bit different shaped panicle hydrangeas. I really like the little lime and the Firelight tidbit that I happen to have, but you can do whichever ones you want. So again, this is sitting right on my kitchen table at this point. So let's start taking a look at the houseplants that I actually have, and we'll go through them. So let's start in my kitchen. So you can see here, I have a Chinese evergreen and a peperomia that I have in a container together. So Chinese evergreens, the actual name is AGLAONEMA. They like low to bright indirect light. Now, I should actually say this is my northeast facing area. So it does get nice bright light in the morning. They're actually one of the top houseplants. They're very sturdy, easy to grow. It blooms when there is enough light with a flower that resembles like a little calla lily. Nice variegated contrast. Moist soil, wait to water till the top 1 inch is dry. Remove the old curling or wavy leaves. And it likes humidity. You can mist it. Time-release fertilizer. It is toxic to pets. They're, like I said, they're very durable, but wipe the dust off the leaves. It can handle dry air. It loves the shade. It's a nice full plant, can get 2 to 3 feet tall. Keep the soil evenly moist but not soggy, and with the leaves wilt, it's a sign of either underwatering or overwatering that actually can cause the stem or root rot. They come in all kinds of variations. I don't know exactly which one this is, but I love it. So with it, I have a peperomia called Shumi Red, bright to bright indirect light. Let the soil dry between waterings. Repot it when the roots come out the bottom. Use a time-release fertilizer in the spring, summer, and fall, but not in the winter. Avoid a really super bright light, and this is also toxic to pets. So this was something I did not realize, that a lot of plants are toxic to pets. There are so many varieties of peperomia. They have those nice kind of thick leaves. They're very tolerant of low light. Water them when the top, inch or so of soil feels dry. For the best leaf color, grow them in like a bright indirect light, such as an east or west facing window, but you could grow them under fluorescent lighting. They are very forgiving. And like I said, they come in a variety of just a wide array of colors and shapes and sizes. A great starter plant. So right next to it, I have a combination that I put together of philodendrons, English ivy, and a Birkin philodendron. And I think the yellow-green one is lemon lime. So let's look at the 2 philodendrons. Like I said, I think this is lemon lime. It likes bright indirect sunlight. Let the top 1 inch of soil dry, and then water it thoroughly. Prune it regularly to encourage new growth. Use a time-release fertilizer, spring, summer, and fall, but moderately. Again, philodendrons are toxic to pets, but they remove toxins from the air. Philodendrons are very, very easy forgiving plants, very similar to the pothos. They come in a wide variety of sizes, shapes, and colors. They can grow outdoors in mild climates if you keep them out of direct sunlight. Again, a lot of different varieties. So make sure you pinch them back to contain the length and encourage some branching. Otherwise, they might get kind of leggy. And philodendrons really do acclimate well to many lighting situations. Remember, like I said, keep the leaves free of dust so they can absorb light. Clean window doesn't hurt either. If you really wanted to, you could use grow lights. I don't. Some plants are more adaptable than others. I don't use grow lights in my house, but you might want to think about doing that. And keep inspecting all plants for pests. When they're stressed, it can be a magnet for bugs. So let's move on to the Birkin philodendron, which is now one of the most popular houseplants around. So the Birkin, I actually have two of them. They like medium to bright indirect light. I think you're hearing a pattern here. Avoid direct sunlight. Water when the top inch of the soil is dry. They say distilled water is best, according to Proven Winners, is one of the Birkins that I got. Fertilize them once a month at half strength when the plant is actually, really growing. And this has a really nice sturdy leaf. It's compact, nice variegation, easy to grow, and I guess we can see why it's so popular. The last plant that I have in this container grouping that I made is an English ivy, and these can be really good hanging plants. So they like bright indirect sun. Like I said, this kitchen window just gets sun first thing in the morning. Trim them as needed. Water it when the soil is dry. They can handle low light, but they can handle some sun also. And you can miss them because they really do love humidity. Use a time-release fertilizer. They are toxic to pets, but they do provide some lower levels to carbon dioxide in our air, which is a real benefit. So something you might want to think about if you don't have any indoor plants, that they do actually have some good benefits to our health. So this funny looking plant that I have next to them in the kitchen is the Swiss cheese plant, MONSTERA delicioso. You're going to water this one every 1 to 2 weeks, so you're going to allow that soil to dry out. You're going to maybe need to water it a little bit more in a brighter light. And it can benefit from filtered water. Either that or leave your water out overnight before you actually use it. They are toxic to humans, actually. So this is a split leaf philodendron. And it is native actually to southern Mexico all the way south down to Panama. Kind of a fun little plant. So they can grow like from 3 to 20 feet tall, actually. Hopefully this one doesn't start growing like that. They really do prefer like a medium light from like an east-facing window. The leaves are easily burned, so keep them away from really direct light. And if your leaves start drooping, it means your plant needs a drink. So my favorite container, I got it in Italy, had it shipped home. It's got a peace lily in it. I keep it outside on the front porch in the summertime. Spathiphyllum, low to medium light, evenly moist. It is not pet safe or child safe. It's great for low light spaces, but it flowers better with some sun. They help remove carbon dioxide from the air, and the white flowers kind of look like, white peace flags or whatever. So when the leaves start to droop, make sure you water it. Again, low indirect light, and it can take some neglect, but be careful because it's toxic. So this is brand new for me. It's called a creeping inch plant, CALLISIA repens. Native to Central and South America. Supposedly it's not challenging to grow. It blooms in the summer with a small white insignificant flower. I'm excited to see this. It's the green with the purple spotting and purple on the underside, which is kind of cool. It's a trailing plant, gets between 4 and 12 inches long. And you can see as the leaves get away from the plant's core, they get smaller and smaller. So I'm looking forward to this one. Something brand new I'm trying. So in my living room, I have a couple of Chinese evergreens. This one right here, the bigger one, I actually have another one in my master bathroom. I've had that for a long time. And then I have another one that's actually new. I don't know what the varieties are, but again, Chinese evergreens, just like the one we looked at earlier, they're very durable, lush green leaves, keep the dust off the leaves. They can handle low light. I have some sheer curtains here in my living room, so I have a nice low light. They are toxic to pets, but they're nice full plants. So This is my new one, and I wish I knew the name of it, but there's very pretty plants, easy to take care of. One of my very favorite house plants. I got this at Longwood Gardens years and years and years ago. This is an eyelash begonia. It's called butterscotch, actually. Just takes bright light, has nice little white flowers in the winter, which unfortunately get all over the floor, but what are you going to do? It doesn't get mildew, moderately moist, really lovely begonia. They like bright, indirect light. Like I said, it's evergreen, really striking foliage, that small heart-shaped emerald green leaf with that chocolate marking and the bristles around the edge. Very popular house plants. And really the medium-sized leaves with a dark burgundy and green mottled leaf. Another new plant that I'm trying out for the first time, nickname is Moses in the Cradle, TRADESCANTIA. This is native to Mexico and Central America, but it's easy to grow and care for. It wants 6 to 8 hours of bright indirect light, so out of the sun. It's got long lance-shaped waxy leaves with that vibrant purple undersides, and if you know me, you know I love purple. It likes high humidity, so you could stand the pot on like a humidity tray. So I've got mine on some rocks that I put water in occasionally. You're going to feed it monthly in the spring and the summer. It is toxic and can cause skin irritation. In the winter, you're going to allow it to dry out slightly between waterings and then kind of soak it maybe with some distilled water. I'm noticing a lot of plants are asking for distilled water. I had never done that before. I guess maybe it's for the salt. I'm not sure. Let me know if you've grown this one before and what anything special you might have done with it. I just did a blog recently on amaryllis and potting up amaryllis. So I'm not really going to get into it too much. This one is called Flaming Amadeus, and it came in a really pretty pot. So I'm not going to go into that one too much, but I have a bunch of them. I love having plants around in the winter time. I can't live without them. I'm not sure if you can too. Tell me what your favorite flowering plants in the winter are. Then in my master bathroom, I keep some plants that really like humidity. I have a begonia. We've talked about begonias a little bit. I have a Diffenbachia, and I think this is an asparagus fern. So Diffenbachia, they can grow very tall. They have really pretty leaf patterns. They like filtered light, but they're toxic. And then ferns, I haven't had a ton of success with ferns. They like low light, consistently moist, warm, humid environments, which is why I have it in the bathroom. So this has been very successful in this spot. I change it from one side to the other, but otherwise it grows really well in the humidity of the bathroom. So also in here, I have another Chinese evergreen. Again, they're great low light plants, and the humidity is great for it. So this is another easy one, and I have a bunch of them. AGLAONEMA. Like I said, there are a lot of different varieties. I have the same one in my living room. Sometimes it produces flowers, sometimes not, but it loves its location here. So this is what the flower will look like if and when it flowers. If it gets enough light, it'll flower. So again, a very easy house plant, the Chinese evergreens. I always have to have an African violet around. It reminds me of my mom. She always had them. So they dry out very quickly with the heat on in the winter time. So really check the top few inches before you start watering them though. But it doesn't mean the plant needs water. Really, stick your finger in or use a moisture meter. You can fertilize, but reduce the dosage for sure. And there are some great indoor fertilizing products out there, liquid fertilizers. Another one that I have that's new to me, this CALLISIA is new to me. They like medium, bright, indirect light. I have it near a south-facing window, but it only gets the sun really in the morning. So water every 1 or 2 weeks. Let the soil dry between waterings, from what I understand. Clip it to shape it. Use a time-release fertilizer. This is not toxic to plants, so this is a good one that's not toxic to plants. I love the variegated leaf. I love that it's dark purple on the underside, because you know I love purple. Let me know. I keep reading different things. I see that calatheas need consistent moisture, and then other things say not. So far, I have found this needs consistent moisture, but I love the high contrast leaves. Another one that is new to me this year is Stromanth. This is called Trio Star, is the version of this one. High humidity, low to mid light, likes moisture. And let me know if you've had experience with this one, because I have none, and I don't have a lot of information on it either. In my office, I saw Proven Winners now has some house plants, so I have got 2 of the Cling On Samantha, Ficus benjaminas, and I did have a Amaryllis up here too. I've actually moved that one downstairs, but I have a couple different ones that I now have up here. So these ficus, water with distilled water, according to Proven Winners, medium, bright, indirect light, morning or afternoon, east or west window. Likes it warm, 60 to 85 degrees. Allow the top of the soil to dry out like the top inch. Medium humidity, average water, but it needs good drainage. So that's a nice one, and I saw a bunch of these ficus when I was at a garden center recently. So the last plant that I have a couple of pothos, because there couldn't possibly be an easier house plant with their really pretty heart-shaped leaves. They take medium to low light, indirect light, let them dry out. They are not pet safe, but they can reduce indoor ozone levels. A perfect starter plant. Another thing you could think about is don't forget about herbs. So here's a walk around with me in a garden center. You can see what they're offering at this time of year. I stopped at 2 different ones that are in Connecticut. Check your local garden centers, whatever's by you, but hopefully you'll find some inspiration for some new plants that you might try out. I'm trying a bunch of new ones this year. And let's compare notes. Let's compare notes. Hopefully you found this fun and interesting. I'll be doing a video on decorating for the holidays. Please subscribe and hit that like button. And if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great Thanksgiving.